that never existed.
Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out. Things that do not serve you must go.
Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost. I swear that's my jam. I ain't playing. Oh, it gets me going. Yes, 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 yes. It is a great day. Happy hump day, y'all. Halfway through. Halfway through. And boy, isn't it great to be alive. Can I get an amen? For real. I'm sore this morning. Ooh, Lord Jesus, have mercy, Father Abraham. Yes, you know, I told you guys that I started. Okay, I have this big photo shoot coming up in Mexico, starting the day after Christmas, right? Going to hang out with Amy Joy. Amy Joy, you better get your shit together. Oh, wait, she did get her shit together because she wrote the book. And she has a new TV show coming. Get your shit together on Trajectory TV. Yay! Where is it? Let me get up to the graphic. I'm so excited. Yeah, Amy Joy is, where is it? Where's my, hey, oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Trajectory TV launching November 1st. I'm so excited on the E360 television network. 7 new shows. Well, not really new. You'll see some that you recognize down on there because I coming with me and they defected. So, and then we have some new shows. So excited. I'll tell you more about that as we get closer to the launch date. Another piece of information. What's today's date? The 19th. Well, I have until the last day of the month to be the cover. So go to my page or in the show notes at the end of today's broadcast, you'll find the link to go and get a copy of this if you would like. Courageous Men. There's a lot of great content in there. Not just my cover story, but anyway, Courageous Men on newsstands wherever you live. And why am I sore? Yep. I'm gonna put this hat. Oh no, this head is too small for my big head. That's my new trainer, Matthew. And last night was our first. What you see on the screen was like a warm up where he was nice that night. So I came back like a dummy. So I was there last night, and boy, I was there until 9 o'clock at night, and I'm usually in bed at 9 o'clock, so it was kind of hard. But boy, this morning, see, I changed. I put on their hat. Oh, I think I'm gonna leave that on. I kind of like it. I thought it would trigger me because I'm sore. Listen, I had no idea. I go to one gym, doing all this stuff, going through my little routine, wearing the little cute outfits. You know how it is. And anyway, over at this place, it reminded me of being in the military. Better not act like you don't want to do something. Plus, there's a bunch of young kids at my gym, a bunch of old people. So I'm doing it. Why? Because I want to take great to greater. I want to take stronger, literally strong to stronger. And so I say all that because today's show is kind of based on that same premise, how to change your life completely. Now, when I say completely, I kind of relate to it because I started one of the things that I couldn't be sitting where I am today. You wouldn't see the things, or any place you see a picture of me. If I hadn't decided that I would do whatever to get to where, God wanted me to be, source, the universe, you name it, I wouldn't be here because my first thing was to change my body because it was what was keeping me, the outside was keeping me from the inside, if that makes any sense, because I did not like myself at all. I tell you guys, many of you have heard the story. For like 20 some years on social media, there was no profile picture for me, just that little silhouette guy. And then family members, anytime they say, hey, let's take I wouldn't get in group photos. I would not even look in windows and things as I walked past them. Brushed my teeth, shaved, all of that in the shower for over 20 years. So I wouldn't have to look in the mirror. So today's guest has a story of transformation, inside, outside, upside down, right? Happy all the time. Okay, that's a song from childhood. Sorry. And so I just love her story, and she is doing so much to impact so many lives. She impacted mine. Yep, right there. This woman if you are ready to tell your origin story or something that relates to your journey, but you're not really ready to do a full out, blown out book, you need to meet today's guest. You guys know I've only done one chapter in one book previously to this. Because I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I'm fearful when it comes to that. But Misty Lee Wriston, reached out to me, and in moments, literally moments, I knew it was the right thing to do. And I'm so humbled and grateful that I did it. I'm gonna tell you guys, it brought my story out in a way I had never told it. And what I didn't realize until this, even if you've told your story somewhere years ago, like I did in the Goldcast video, right? But then when I got ready to do Misty's thing, source, spirit, they all came, all of them. And it came out in a way it had never come out of me before, ever. And so there's something anointed about this woman, and you're going to find out more about it today. So who is Misty Wriston? Well, she's a career entrepreneur, and she sold her highly ranked insurance franchise to live in nature. Cue the crickets. No, it's not boring. Trust me. She did this for a very good reason, to care for my little buddy, to care for her disabled son, whom I love. And she grows organic food, raises animals, and she did all this to just simplify her life. A lot of people are doing that, especially since COVID. They're minimalizing, downsizing, just getting rid of a lot of the crap, right? Can I get an amen? So Misty says that after 3 decades of building small businesses, mentoring corporate clients, and being one of the top sales agents in her field, she experienced, get this, a soul alignment. I'm going to let that sit out there for just a second. Look at those 3 words, a soul alignment. Let me write that down because I want to make sure we cover that. That is a big piece. I've never heard anyone talk about it, so I'm anxious to get into that today. Now, from this moment of awareness, Misty opened campgroundtbd.com publishing in order to align her passion and purpose. She's a 2-time international #1 best-selling author, and she believes that every one of us has a unique story and a calling to share and connect. Now, there's more to it, but like the kids say, I'd rather show you than tell you. So you guys know she's never been here. I thought she was kind of shy, but she shocked the shit out of me. I'm just saying, talk about getting clean. She went from Ellie Mae Clampett farm gal to, Hollywood actress, just like that. A lot of things on the horizon for this great woman. And so let's make her feel as welcome as possible. You know how we do it. We give a standing ovation, a round of applause, if you will, by virtually putting some hearts on the screen. They're free and they're painless. So let's go, because here she comes. Here she is, MISTIELEI WRISTON. Heidi ho, Heidi ho.
Good morning, Lauren.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I hope the internet does what we want it to do. I was missing part of your intro, so we're going to keep the internet fingers crossed.
I'm still sitting here in shock.
So I'm going to keep talking. My name is MISTIELEI WRISTON, and I'm from Western Arkansas. If Lauren pops back in, I'll stop talking. But according to me, his internet is frozen.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm looking at it on here. It wasn't me, girl. It was you.
Probably.
That's okay. But you did it like a pro. You look like a celebrity.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm telling you. I saw you. Lord. I know why. Because you're getting ready for a big old. I will get to that. You got something big coming up this week.
I do.
Listen, I like to give my guests some time, just a moment or two, to have some personal time with the audience. So I'm going to jump out for a second and let you say hello to everybody in your own voice, and then I'll come back in. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All you, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Lauren. Good morning, everyone. My name is MISTIELEI WRISTON. I am currently living in Western Arkansas in a paradise near Mena, and I am a chapter concierge. I publish anthologies, and I help people get their chapter out. Like a true concierge, I'm going to have all the information that you need. You don't need to learn anything. You create, and I'll take you to the finish line. I like to make sure we have a tribe of people. Lauren and I will probably talk about this more, that have unconditional reciprocated love with each other, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's friendship. And through that experience, my team and I can get anyone across the finish line if they have a desire to write. And I think most of us do. You're going to say something, Mr. Lauren? I see you. So Lauren has written with me. Oh.
I muted myself because I was pouring coffee. I was watching a rerun a couple of weeks ago, and when I give the guests that part, I'm off, but I leave the mic open. So that's usually when I pour my coffee into Lucy's belly, and I didn't realize it was even on the iHeartRadio show. I was pouring coffee and I didn't mute, and it sounds like I'm peeing.
I don't know where you went, Lauren.
No,
I'm still here.
I'm here.
I would love to talk more about myself, but I'm waiting for Lauren to pop back in.
I'm here. That's you, girl.
And there he is.
Okay. Again, that was you.
We're going to figure this out before the next time, Lauren.
No, I was saying, I'm sorry I was muted, but it's because I don't want my coffee pouring for people to think I'm peeing, because it sounds like that. So anyway, that's why that was. Listen, let's get right to it. Okay. The first thing I want to start with is you sent me an email a couple weeks ago. No, the 13th of October, last week. And in your opening of the email, you said, Lauren, from our brief friendship, I believe you have a similar gift as I. See how she writes? When people speak with me, big things occur. Some seen as positive and some as negative. And you and I know they all matter. The magic is in how we allow it to hit our spirit.
Yes, that was after
you're opening an email.
Very big awakening from a memory from childhood that I experienced the night before. And luckily, I live in such a place of bliss that I get to have these moments of going through trauma and releasing them from a really positive place. And I use writing for that. And that's how I concierge. That's how I help people get through a traumatic experience with writing. It doesn't cure it. It doesn't fix it. It releases it and dispenses it and disperses it.
That's the bell of purpose for y'all who have never been here. I'm going to ring it every time some truth is out on the table, because just like that bell has a ring to it, so is the truth. There goes. Listen, you could not have been more correct because with like I was saying earlier, my own experience with you guys, because I really don't like doing those chapters and this that, and the other. I don't know what it is, but that's probably why I don't have a regular book. Because I mean, I have the one I wrote years ago about how to get speaking gigs, but that was easy because it wasn't about me. It was just about
you did a great job on your chapter. You and Amy Joy both.
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. You had talked to me about how to get started, and I remember I told you that week. First, I woke up at 3 a.m, then 2 a.m, then finally on Wednesday 1 a.m, and I just said, "Forget it. I'm going to get up." For some reason, something keeps waking me up. So I got up and I sat right here, and it took about 40 minutes before the first line. It had 3 words. Then I erased them. Then it had 6 words. Then I erased them. Then all of a sudden, once I put that first period down, that was like at 2 a.m. When I finished, it was 5, and just in time to go to the gym. And I didn't even reread it then because I was rushing to go. But when I came back, I was like, who wrote that?
Spectacular.
Talk about that experience, how when people are purging, some people call it brain dumping. There's all
I'm going to
kinds
pop
of
in
things.
because you clipped off for just a second. I'm sure it's my internet, but I will tell you that we see that all the time. We find a person who doesn't think they can write, and I just encourage them to write anything to me, anything, or to themselves. And the words just come out of them. Those are the best chapters. If you have to struggle over a chapter, we probably need to unlock another door for you. And that's a quick phone call generally.
Misty, how did you learn this process, or is it a gift?
I believe it's a gift that was squashed when I was younger for years. And as I got older into financial services, I learned to take people from a very vulnerable place where they didn't have a lot of knowledge and explain it to them in a way that they could feel confident moving forward. And I think writing is the same way. It's a really vulnerable space. People are told all the time, you should write a book. And they get excited until they go, I don't know what to do. And then they just squish that down. And I just say, let's take it up. You keep writing, you create, and I'll take it to the finish line for you.
So that's a great point. I want to hit on that topic that we kind of did the 50-yard dash pass a minute ago when you were talking about how when you sent me this email, you had come to an awakening as far as a previous memory that had disappeared. So I want us to watch this little clip. We're not going to watch it all, but just enough to wet our whistle so we can talk about how memories form and then how we lose them. Let's take a look.
Think back to a really vivid memory. Got it? Okay, now try to remember what you had for lunch 3 weeks ago. That second memory probably isn't as strong.
Wait a minute.
Why not?
Hold
Why
on.
do we remember some things and not
Hold
others?
on.
And why do
Look.
memories eventually fade?
I'm sitting up here watching it, and then I looked at the screen and it's not there. So let me try it again. And it was good too. Hold on. I can't wait till I'm with NBC and I don't have to push all these buttons for myself.
Right. Someone to push the buttons.
Let's manifest that
Yes.
with the quickness. Hold on. I'm gonna come back over. Let's try this again. Okay. And every time I do that, I'm doing something. So there.
There we go.
Yay.
Think back to a really vivid memory. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, now try to remember what you had for lunch 3 weeks ago. That second memory probably isn't as strong. But why not? Why do we remember some things and not others? And why do memories eventually fade? Let's look at how memories form in the first place. When you experience something, like dialing a phone number, the experience is converted into a pulse of electrical energy that zips along a network of neurons. Information first lands in short-term memory, where it's available from anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes. It's then transferred to long-term memory through areas such as the hippocampus, and finally to several storage regions across the brain.
Lord have mercy.
Neurons throughout the brain communicate at dedicated sites called synapses using specialized neurotransmitters. If 2 neurons communicate repeatedly, a remarkable thing happens. the efficiency of communication between them increases. This process, called long-term potentiation, is considered to be a mechanism by which memories are stored long-term. But how do some memories get lost? Age is one factor.
Got that
As we
right.
get older, synapses begin to falter and weaken, affecting how easily we can retrieve memories. Scientists have several theories about what's behind this deterioration. From actual brain shrinkage, the hippocampus loses 5% of its neurons every decade, for a total loss of 20% by the time you're 80 years old, to the drop in the production of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, which is vital to learning and memory. These changes seem to affect how people retrieve stored information. Age also affects our memory-making abilities. Memories are encoded most strongly when we're paying attention, when we're deeply engaged, and when information is meaningful to us. Mental and physical health problems, which tend to increase as we age, interfere with our ability to pay attention and thus act as memory thieves. Another leading cause of memory problems is chronic stress. When we're constantly overloaded with work and personal responsibilities, our bodies are on hyper alert. This response has evolved from the physiological mechanism designed to make sure we can survive any crisis. Stress chemicals help mobilize energy and increase alertness. However, with chronic stress, our bodies become flooded with these chemicals.
Okay, we're going to stop there because that's enough to go on. Because a lot of times with trauma, we hear, oh, you just buried it, and we don't know because I have memories that come back all the time, but they seem to come back when I'm ready to look at their face again. And it not take me backwards. So I believe I know all that stuff that we just saw, the scientific and the neurons and all that stuff is true. But I also believe that spirit, God, source, universe, greater than, we've been promised that we won't be given more than we can handle. And sometimes we need those things out of the way. But that piece in there about stress and things like that. How do you, because you had a remarkable, oh, dang it, I forgot to put those pictures up there, a transformation, like your body. So go back, take us back to the beginning. Who were you 20 years ago? Who was that woman?
Okay, so I'll give you the Cliff Note version. So because of the email I sent you the other night where I had a remarkable breakthrough about a prior memory.
Yes.
So 20 years ago, well, let's come back 40 years ago, I misfiled a memory that should have gone in one folder, and I put it in inappropriate 13-year-old girl behavior, but it should have gone in a very different folder. So I've just been going through my life with my filing cabinets, cleaning them out as I go along. I've lost 140 pounds. I've been sober since 2014. I quit smoking. I've changed my career. What happened the other night is I found out I was watching a movie at a recommendation of someone else, an author. And in the movie, I realized I had filed something. And I don't know if you want me to speak about the topic because I don't want to trigger.
Go ahead, of course.
Okay, well, I can tell you what I had filed as a 13-year-old girl who snuck out of her house and drank alcohol and got what she deserved because she was misbehaving. I filed that in the 13-year-old girl file. At 55, I was able to look back. I forgot I was raped, Lauren. I filed a rape folder under inappropriate behavior of a 13-year-old. And so being able to come back at 55 with the God, I'm going to call it God, with God at my side and the life of bliss that I get to live now because I am in alignment, I was able to go back and go, oh, you're in the wrong file, honey. Let's go and read through this. There we are. Yeah, that's my beautiful daughter who's cooking my grandbaby right now.
Which one is which?
I love that question, Lauren.
It's the truth.
You've come a long way in the last 10 years. Oh, I love that child right there. So you got me sidetracked showing me my baby, Lauren.
Sorry.
So, there I am.
Look at that.
So what I had to do is I had to go back and find all those files that were misfiled and take them out. And some of them were putting weight on to keep men away from me. I physically repelled men with my body. And I'm not saying that overweight makes you unattractive. Right. I made myself unattractive. I carried myself in a very unhealthy masculine way. And I'm a very feminine person. but I put on that mask because it fit better in the world I was trying to plug into. Now I don't plug into that world. I come back and plug into my own world, and it's beautiful. And you've seen the results.
So Misty Lee, I got to remember to put your whole name in there. Tell me, help me understand. Did you know that you were building this fortress around your soul, around the soul version of you, the one sitting in front of us? Because she was there, or was she? Was this person available?
I was in there. I remind myself very much of a young me now. Playful, energetic, loves to be outside and play. I love to laugh every day. I dance every day. So I was in there. And that's part of why I've reclaimed the name Misty Lee. I've been Misty since a small child. I didn't know Misty Lee. So now all the brick walls are off me, and I get to be Misty Lee from inside out. And how I found it was a brick wall hit me. It's one of those moments where my life, my son took a really expensive sports car, took it 160 miles an hour, flipped it through the air 6 times. And I got one of those phone calls as a mom, and it knocked down. And I had to decide right that minute, pick up the bricks you want and leave that other crap behind, because I didn't.
Wait a minute. What are you saying?
Well, in 2016, one of my twins took a vehicle that I had in the garage, and he took it out. He didn't have a license yet, and he drove it, and he flipped about 6 times with a passenger in the car. They both survived.
Oh,
but I got, thank you. I should have started with that. But I got the call that I had to come, and I had just delivered a life insurance check to a friend of mine's son right when I got the phone call. So it wasn't a good day, but in the end, it saved our lives, all of us, because we all got to break through that wall of just BS we were living behind.
Tell me about your family. You have children. So, because you just said, how many?
I have 4 children. I have 4 stepdaughters, and I've had 29 exchange students. And then we were always the house for the wayward teens that might need a place to stay for a bit. So 4 or 40, depending on how you count.
Well, it sounds to me like all the things you did over the primary years, let's say 20s, 30s, 40s, because you're 55 now, it's in your bio, so it's not like I'm putting something.
I'm proud of that.
Right, me too, girl. 60, got that right. So it sounds like everything you touched, you were an overachiever. You took it to the nth degree. Now, a lot of people would look at that and say, well, what's wrong with that? Shit, who doesn't want to be successful? Who doesn't want a happy family and all the kids to want to hang out at your house? But at what expense? So if you were to say, if you were to do it in percentages, the you of today, you said she was back there, she was in there. How much of her was available to people? Did people know any part of the you of today?
Maybe 10%.
Wow.
Very, very, very small group of people got to see me. Well, back then, Lauren, I also had a different personality for each person I was around. You might know the fun me. They might know the this me. They might know the religious me. They might know the healthy me. And I couldn't keep up anymore. When my son wrecked, all of those veils had to come down, and I had to let this friend meet this friend, and this friend meet this friend. And so no more hiding.
You're the first person that I've spoken with that said that. I went through that, and I had like 6 or 7 versions, and I kept having a reoccurring dream that I was in the grocery store line. I was up at the checkout person, and every time I looked back over my shoulder to get something out of my cart, there was another one of those people from a different world of mine. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, the person from church, the person from the crack house, the person from, and I was like, please don't let any of them say, hey, Lauren, because then they're all going to say, hey, Lauren, hey, wait, how do you know? And I was so afraid, and I kept having it over and over and over. And that's how I got to the point, like, shit, how many versions of me are there? So let me ask you this question. What do you think it is, Misty Lee? Why do you think it was that you turned it into a positive? The outcomes were positive outcomes. Whereas so many others at that same intersection turn into something other, like myself. I didn't go to the positive. I didn't use it to make things better. I used it to destroy everything that was good. Why do you think, and how do you think you did it the opposite?
Well, I tried it your way first. I tried to destroy everything in my path, every relationship with my children, with romantic relation. I've tried to destroy everything, and it just didn't work. And then one day in 2018, I actually went to a personal development class because I was suicidal, and I knew with my son that wasn't an option, and thankfully, and the speaker, I joke, he spit on me and my life changed. He kind of had a conversation with me, very direct. And I decided that if it can be done, if it ever has been done, I can do it. And other people had suffered loss of a child or just really grave losses, and they were happy and successful and healthy. So I said, if it can be done and it has been done, I know I can do it because I've seen other people do it. So I just started copycatting everyone that had success in any area I wanted. And I started with weight. It drove me crazy. I wasn't doing good. So I took weight off the table and started fixing the rest of my life. And oh, look, the weight came off. So I did not diet.
Same here. Same here. Let's talk about this intriguing concept that you threw out there. And I'm referring to soul alignment. Talk about that. What does that mean to you?
Well, I was a very successful businesswoman. I had the money, and I had the car, and I had the hair and the lashes and the big booty, and I had all the things.
You had a big booty?
I had a big booty, and I had a lot of this.
Dang, girl, send me some of it. I ain't got none.
That was a little bit of dysmorphia that came up when I became little. After a while, I had to learn how to love this body too. But now I lost my question, Lauren. Oh, the soul alignment.
Yeah.
What I realized in my successes was that it crossed off a lot of boxes in the world, but I didn't like any of them. I wasn't happy. I was miserable. And one day I helped my son deliver phone books by hand, just walking down the street. I'm driving a $100,000 car, walking down the street, delivering phone books with my son. And it was one of the best days. It was outside. I loved it. And I thought, okay, how can I make money moving around outside? So I started looking at the campground. I just started reevaluating ways to make money outside of that structured commercial corporate world. And it just took a lot of baby steps, and it was not easy. It took a lot of muscle. This is a strength that I had to build over the last 2 years, but I did it, and I don't give up. And I tell people, if you're going to run a marathon, you got to get up every morning and run. You cannot just decide to have a perfect life and it's perfect. You still got to go and use the muscles, get the routine down, come up with how you're going to succeed at what you're going to do. And I'm good at that. That's where I come in. I'm good at that. You tell me what you want, I will concierge. I will take you there because I know I have the network. I have the knowledge and the strength.
You really do. And you have a lot of support here today. So hello to all of you. I tried to fly through some of your salutations and get it out there so we could let Misty know.
Oh, I haven't seen any of them.
Oh my goodness, Savannah. Well, here, let me just do this. There's a lot. Facebook user, the one who said copycatting what has been done. Who are you? Put your name in because you're on one of the other platforms that doesn't show your name. But Keith Williams is here. Amy Joy.
Those are a lot of authors
together, Amy Joy. Amy Joy, I wish you would get your shit together. Oh, wait, you did. You wrote the book.
You did, yes.
Yes. Keith Williams is here. Angie Jeffries. Ryan Williams. Are they related? Savannah Gates. I love that name. Savannah Gates.
She's an author. She's an author with us in a line.
So I think a lot of these folks aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Lori Whitney, good morning to you. Good morning. And to the rest of you, I'm going to get to you in a minute and say, so soul alignment. Let's talk about when people come to you. Do you take any old person? I mean, does everybody fit automatically in? Let's use the book, for example, that you have now, Align. Were there any chapters that people submit and you go, that isn't really a good fit for what we're doing here, but I'm going to do another book that I think would be a better fit. So you know what I'm saying? You don't just throw any old thing against the wall and hope it sticks, right?
No, we don't. So we do it a little different. There are a lot of great companies that will publish an anthology if you want to write about anything you want to write about. So what ours are is we come up with a specific team. The one that you're in, Lauren, is on alignment, and it's called Align. And we want everyone in the team to really focus on lifting people up about alignment. We did another one, Here Comes the Sun, lifting people up about finding brightness. Now, if you call and you say, I really want to talk about domestic abuse, I see you, then we will
Right.
We'll put you in our next book that's coming up that would be appropriate for that. So we do try to screen.
Where and how do you find the themes for your books? Where does that come from?
From here and from here. So I'll be doing one about not holding your story hostage, and I'll be doing one about misfiling memory misfiling.
That is an awesome one. I want in on that one.
And most trauma I'm finding, and just in the last, I've been putting this together for a while, but when I experienced, of course, it made it come home a lot quicker. A lot of trauma is misfiled, especially those first 20 years when your dad may have been 10 minutes late picking you up from ball practice, but you filed that as an abandonment. It doesn't matter if it really was an abandonment. If you filed it in abandonment, it's in there. And until you go back to the abandonment folder and find it, you're not even thinking about that guy being late 5 minutes.
Let me tell you what I love about that concept, Misty Lee. What I love about that concept is, and in my coaching, because we work together now, I truly believe that one of the primary reasons so many of us are stuck is because we have things in our world that do not serve us. And those things usually stay there, remain there, undetected or unacknowledged, simply because we haven't found the courage to name them. People who say, it's always this way. This is what always happens to me. This, what's wrong about, I hate my job. Why? It's just those people, no, you can't really eradicate or give an eviction notice to something if you can't put the name of who's getting kicked out on it. So, and when those things that don't serve us, whether we remember them cognitively or not, they have a butterfly flight pattern inside our world, and we can't catch them. We don't have the net yet. Right. So I love that, because in order to file something, you've got to put it in the right file, because you said you didn't, label it, and then put it in accordance of where it goes in the file cabinet. So I absolutely love that. So let me ask this. When people what's the biggest change that you see in people from where they first began and where they end up when the book launches? Have you seen people completely change through the sharing of one chapter?
Yes. Yeah. Because as you know, it's never just the one chapter. It's what was behind the one chapter needing to come out. So when they push that chapter out, whatever comes in right behind it, that's the meat for the author. And that's what gets me, that's my juice, is watching the author step into that self-discovery, that moment of, like you said, you wrote the chapter, you've said it 100 times, but in this, you got to experience it very differently, because there is a 1,500 word limit. You've got to get through the whole process in a very short period of time for you. And then the author gets to benefit from that as well. And so I write out my 1,500 chapters every day, whatever I'm struggling with. I was going to be on a show with Mr. Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris today. I wrote a whole chapter about how amazing it was and how we spoke afterwards and what it led to. I've already redreamed this whole day because of how amazing this show was going to go. And I did this last night to prepare for today. So I've already seen it. I already know what happens. I even know what happens when the internet stops off, because I've already prepared the chapter for myself.
That's incredible.
Do that every day. And that's why I get to be on TV with your friend pretty soon as well.
Yes. And we're going to go into that. We're going to talk about it now. You're headed to Texas.
I am. On Tuesday, I'll be filming in studio.
In studio for a television show down there. So excited for you. Now, when this opportunity presented itself, is this something you're used to doing, or did you have to step out of your comfort zone?
I'm still stepping out of my comfort zone, which is why I wrote a whole chapter about it before I even, I'm filming with Lachelle, America's Supermom, mother of 15
was here a couple weeks ago.
Amazing woman. And before I even sent her my email, I did a quick chapter. Me on TV, I see myself on the Ellen couch. I pictured the whole thing all the way out, and it starts with next week with Lachelle on Tuesday filming.
That's,
so I just wrote a whole
master
chapter.
Manifestation.
Exactly.
That's what that is. And so just so the audience understands, this trip that you're taking, coming up in just a few days, when was the last time you did something like this? Went somewhere?
So I have identified as an agoraphobic person for a few years now, and I no longer identify.
Wait a minute. Agoraphobe, isn't that a sweater?
Very close, but this is also people who don't leave their home.
Okay. Angora. Sorry.
Angora sweater, agoraphobic. So
Okay.
now I'm just going to go Angora, not Agora.
Right.
And I left September 11th. I left October 8th for a charity event. Those are the 2 days I interviewed our charities that we donate our launch proceeds from our books. So I donated, I went and interviewed the 2 charities. And now I will be leaving again October 25th. So that'll be 3 times. And in the past year, I probably haven't driven, I'm going to guess about 4,000 miles total.
Let's talk about my buddy.
Hayden,
who I love. I talk
and he
about
feels
him
the
to
same.
somebody. Huh?
He loves you too. He loves your voice when he hears it in the morning on
I know, because he always says something. I can't wait to meet him and hang out with him. Tell everybody about the challenge with that and the pull of leaving him to go there, because now you've learned how to focus on Misty Lee a little more, because it was always about someone or something else, but now you're faced with yourself. Talk about that challenge and how you came to the courage point to pull the trigger.
So I have struggled with Hayden. I have been his sole caregiver for the last 2 years, and we have really gotten very close. And his last caregiver, she passed away, and that was hard on him, and to have her not in his life anymore.
Oh.
So I've been hesitant to open that back up, and then with the pandemic and everything. So I used him as a crutch, and it became very apparent that I would tell people I wanted to do something, but I can't because of Hayden. And when I hear can't with someone that I'm working with, if I'm your concierge and you say can't, I will call you out, because you can. If it's ever been done, you can. So let's just move past that.
Got that right.
That's up to you.
Right.
So with Hayden, I heard myself say can't several times in a row, that I wish that I could do it, but I can't because of Hayden. And that is not a true sentence. So I had to decide, would I choose to do what needed to be done to leave him? Now, I took the easy way out, and I hired one of his siblings to be his caregiver as kind of a buffer zone for me, so I can freely travel for several days. But so I will tell you this, a lot of what we use for why we can't get things done, is our safe place. I would, Lauren, but I can't. I've got the kids. I can't. My husband did this. I can't because no one took the trash out. I can't. None of those things are true. It's just whether we choose to do what needs to be done so that we can.
So what about this?
For me.
Okay, so you're going, and you know how people that have a new baby, okay, we're finally going to go out to dinner. Hello, okay, babysitter, here's this. If that happens, here's the number. Call so-and-so, put her down, change her this. If she da-da-da-da, you know. Do you think, because you say you write these chapters ahead, do you think, what do you see happening with you when you get to Texas? Do you think you'll be on the phone every other hour? How's Hayden? How have you storyboarded that out? How do you know you're not gonna? How do you know?
No, I know, because I've already claimed it. Number one, I cheated. I used my son. My other child is going to be the babysitter. So he knows this child since his birth.
Yeah.
And he'll be compensated. So I know he'll take it seriously. So that takes a lot of my worry away. And number two, I've already wrote the story. I've already come back home. I've already regreeted Hayden in my chapter that I wrote. And I've already seen where Hayden gets to come from this. If I become bigger and help more people, then his life improves. Yeah. And he can have more cool things in his home. So it's a gift for both of us, for me to be away from him for a few days.
Girl, I got to put that on the screen for real. Girl, I'm not kidding. Misty Lee, I am telling you, because, you know, a lot of us out there, you guys, put it in the comments if you understand what I'm talking about here, because I'm an empath, and you say certain things and I just feel something like a chill move through my spirit, because it is the truth. What you're saying is the truth, and it is available to everyone. I want to show something, just a little bit of something, because I want you to take this and run with it. But one of the things that I'm just in amazement from you is how you have taught yourself, groomed yourself to focus on yourself and not others through this process of yours. Let's hear with this little snippet. We're not going to watch the whole thing, of course, but a little bit of when they say focus on yourself and not others.
The most important thing is to work upon yourself. What does it mean by saying working upon yourself physically? Just set up small goals for yourself for the next few weeks that are there. Suppose you were 18 for the last 30 years. When the first time when you became 18, if you did bend down, how far would you go? At that time, maybe it went all the way to the floor. Today, maybe it's like this. Just see if you can go 6 inches more. When you were 18 years of age, how quickly you went up a staircase. Today, how you're plodding up the staircase. See if you can improve it by 10–20%. 20% improvement in the next 2 weeks. Just check your picture when you were 18 or below, how you would stand, how straight you were, and now if you become like this, straighten yourself up a little bit, look further back. What kind of smile you had when you were 6, 8, 10 years of age. See if you can get 50% of that back on your face all the time, not by simply grinning a plastic smile, but bring that magic back into you. If you cannot do anything fantastic, at least you must be a pleasant piece of life on this planet.
Bring the magic back. Everything you described, he was describing. Going, remember you said I had to go back? I was there. This girl was there.
Mhm.
So what happens when you're working on a book and someone starts the process and then you get the email or the call and they say, because I bet you it's happened, listen, I didn't know it, Misty Lee, but I know it now. This is a scab I'm not ready to pick. It was triggering. I just can't do it. Do you just, okay, I get it, good luck, or do you do something to push them a little further? How do you know when to hold them and when to fold them?
So luckily I have a team of other authors that work with me because not everyone is for my personality.
Wait a minute. Wait. Luckily.
Well, I don't want to.
You believe in luck?
Too hard.
Do you believe
in
luck?
No, I don't believe in luck. Divinely. Divinely.
Ah, there it is. That's who it belongs to. Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren.
Put the right label to the right owner. Luck doesn't even exist. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I will, and I want to come back to girl that you wrote out while ago because that's part
I'll
of
put
that.
it back up there. Come on, here she is.
Well, because it's giving, unconditional, reciprocated, love, life, and living. Giving, getting, unconditional, reciprocated, love, life, and living. That's girl.
Yeah,
that's my whole life. So
that's a perfect segue too. After you finish this thought, go into URL. They're gonna love this.
Okay. So when a person comes to me, and this is a great segue either way. When a person comes to me and they want to tell their story, and then the story becomes too vulnerable, too much information has come out. We work together offline just a little bit, outside of the chapter. We want to get through those because you can say, and I have a chapter out there in a former book, there were pages and pages of very gross abuse that needed to come out. But in my chapter, it just says, after years of abuse. And we move on and we teach people how to dive back after this awful thing happened. And we do that through unconditional reciprocated love. And that's where the giving and getting unconditional reciprocated love comes through. So divinely, if you come to me and I'm pushing you a little bit harder than you're comfortable with, I have other chapter liaisons who can walk you through in a little gentler voice because some people do need a little more time. And we have 4 actually in this book that are going to hold their chapter for the next one because they were still in the trauma release portion and not ready to put their rough draft in the book yet. So they'll come in the next chapter. So sometimes timing is important.
Is that how some books are born? Because you have a group like this one you just mentioned who need, they need to just stand back and get in the next car that pulls up.
Yes, because it's all going to funnel down to one thing. It's going to come back right here. So wherever your problems and trauma are, if you just bring them all back down to here, this is where your chapter is ready to go. You may still be up here while we're talking. We'll just hold off because eventually enough people are going to be stuck here and we can move that whole book. Our next one is called Now What? Protecting that space after a major goal. And it's because I have people who've had a major weight loss and now they're going through a divorce. They're sober, but they've lost their friends. They are successful, but there's no one around to play with because none of their friends have. So we're writing our next book.
Why did I do all this? Right. Yeah. Wow. I have a sneaking suspicion that because I know it didn't happen with me in that first anthology I was in. What I'm getting at is the person who invited me in the book, I don't know where they are today. I mean, we did it, we were done, but I have several coaching clients that came from when I went to the launch to speak in Philadelphia. Was it Philadelphia? Someplace. It was on the East Coast. And but I have a sneaking suspicion that a great portion of the people you work with end up being permanent friends in your life. Well, what do you attribute that to?
Girl, unconditional
Girl.
reciprocated love.
There she is again. Oh, shoot.
Girl. I am a very safe place for people to be vulnerable. And they are people generally, when a person comes to me and they're ready to put their chapter out, they're wanting to be vulnerable, and we can really reciprocate that love. And now they become my people. And these are people who do other things in life. So they publish, they have TV shows, they have these kind of shows that I'm on right now with you. They're builders, they're residential solar companies. So I already have this URL with these people, this unconditional reciprocated love, and I can take that out into business. So if I ever want to build a home, I already know who I'm using. If I want to start this kind of business, I already know who I'm using because I have such a beautiful family in these authors, and I get to add 40 new family members every couple times a year. So
let me tell you why I am so excited to have found you, so excited that we have found each other, and
Yes.
that you're in my world too, because I love introducing people I love to people that I love. And there are so many avenues out there where people can do this sort of thing, but it's not integrity based. It just isn't. It comes with an angle. And people have, I have a lot of people that when they come into the room, into the sacred space, that's what I love about creating sacred spaces. When they walk in, all of a sudden, somebody smells soot. Some people some of them come smelling like soot because they come in from being burned from an experience. Some people come in, you say, did somebody step in some doo-doo out there? Check your feet because, really. But with this is a divine opportunity. And I wouldn't say that lightly. Trust me. So I'm going to put, here is scrolling along the bottom. I can't believe this hour has just flown by. There's Misty's Facebook page, but there's also, this is the most important of all, if you even have an inkling that this could be something that could change your life, you know the feeling, you hear the sound, you hear the calling, then use this Calendly link. It is already in the comments at the top of the feed. Use it. Go in and find out, Misty, how do I get started? I'm telling you what, you all. I thought I knew my story. I mean, that Goldcast video about my 22 mothers has 40 million views. I thought there's no way I want to talk about that anymore. Why? Look how it's out there in a big, big way. And then your chapter came. And it taught me things about that experience that have happened since the Goldcast. Because what we don't realize oftentimes is once we put our truths out there, they point us in the direction of other truths that are waiting for us to find them and pick them up and go further and further and further. So I am just God struck by what you're doing here. So I really encourage any of you or someone you might know that needs that pivot place to get things moving in a greater way. We all have a story. We all have the ability to change the lives of others for thousands of years to come. But that can only happen if we leave our stories for the world to find. Find yours so you can leave yours. Misty, what would you want to say to people? First of all, we want to say, get over and buy the book. Get over and buy the book.
November 9th.
And you'll see it all over our pages. Trust me. But what piece of advice would you give that person who is just a little bit timid about what we've been talking about here today, and why you would feel it would be important just to get on a call with you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Step one, just have a call. If you're not ready for that, just start writing. Write every single day what your day is like. If you don't know what to write your shopping list. Just get in the habit of writing and then get creative with it. So if it's just your shopping list, don't write spaghetti, write the world's most delicious spaghetti. Just get creative with using your words again. We kind of got into the TTYL, talk to you later. Use your words again, because words are where there's information in words. So if you let the creativity in your mind experience words again, you will open up there's neurons, you talked about it there. You'll be able to pull out memories faster. So if you're not ready to talk to me, which is my first step for you, then at
Mhm.
least begin writing. But there is no commitment to publish because the story needs to come out of you. That's the most important part for me. The books will publish. We've got that. 2,000 books a day on Amazon. We got that part, but I want to grow the author into a place of alignment and empowering themselves to be Misty Lee and to be Lauren and to be who they are.
Who they
Yes,
are.
your
There it
universe.
is, your universe. It's the best place to start so that you can service everything and be of service to everything within this universe. Misty Lee Wriston, thank you so very, very much. I'm going to leave that up on the screen as we get out of here. We wish you all the best. Lots of love and light as you move towards this great opportunity in Texas. And promise me you'll come back when the next book gets rolling so we can talk about that too. Would you do that?
Yes, of course, Lauren. I love it. I love being here. Thank you so
And we
much.
love you too. And we love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Listen, join me tomorrow. Let me see. Del Walsh is in the house tomorrow. Great story and great storyteller. Come on back. I promise I'll meet you out front at 8 a.m. Central, like I do every day, Monday through Friday, so we can have another illuminated conversation. Where? You guessed it. Right here on Bathrobe Moments. Get out there. Be the blessing you want to see in this world. Misty, all the best. Love you.
Love
Take
you
care,
too.
everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need a space.